The REEF-Lux 450 is a lightweight stringer that was first introduced in Splatoon 3 on release. It behaves quite differently to the other stringers, thanks in part to its much shorter range. So let's discuss how you can get the most out of it in SalmonRun. Stats. Like the other stringers, the REEF-Lux has the ability to tap shot, partially charged shots, and fully charged shots. It has 3 arrows and is substantially shorter range when compared to the other stringers. Its tap shots do a minimum of 34 for each arrow, so if all 3 hit, that makes 102. Partially charging the REEF-Lux has variable damage, from 34 up to 70 depending on how long it's held for. At the first circle, it reaches maximum damage. The maximum damage it does when it's fully charged is 70 for each arrow, totaling 210 when all arrows hit the same target. The REEF-Lux has an incredibly fast fire rate. It is 6 frames to tap shot, 12 frames to half charge, and 34 frames to fully charge. This fire rate is what gives this weapon an edge over the other stringers. It's able to sustain a high DPS with its half charges, making it often the most efficient way to use the weapon. Fully charged shots are useful for stricter aim and needing that extra precision, but the REEF-Lux excels when using those half charges. When the first circle is hit, you do the maximum of 70 damage per arrow, which totals 210. So in practice, charges to the first circle do the exact same as fully charging the weapon, and though the time difference is minimal, 12 frames to half charge and 34 frames to fully charge, you're able to fire more half charges in quicker succession over the course of an entire wave. The REEF-Lux differs from the other stringers in 3 major ways. The first is that it doesn't leave explosive bolts in the ground. This means you lack the explosive shots that the other stringers have, and so you'll want to focus more on ensuring you hit all your shots rather than trapping enemies. The second major difference is that the REEF-Lux can store its full charges, giving you flexibility to charge, relocate, and then fire. You can hold a charge for 75 frames, which is equal to 1.25 seconds. The shot fires 27 frames after coming out of ink. The third and final differentiation is that the REEF-Lux does not lose charge speed when jumping, so regardless if you're standing or jumping, or if you want to fire horizontally or vertically, the weapon will always charge with the same speed. All of these differences make the REEF-Lux a fast, mobile, and self-sufficient weapon. In addition, the REEF-Lux boasts an impressive ink tank that allows you to fire for long periods of time. It also recovers ink fairly well too, having very little downtime after firing before you can start recovering ink. This makes it especially useful for throwing splat bombs. You won't need them for their damage, but you might need them for their range, and of course the bosses that require them. Boss slaying. The REEF-Lux is a capable slayer, and for what it lacks in range and AoE, it more than makes up with fire rate and sustained DPS. You can reach steelheads, but the timing is strict. The minimum simplest power you need is a fully charged shot and a partial. Your fully charged is 210, so you just need 90 more damage to defeat it. This can be done with full charges or half charges, whatever is easiest. Tap shots also work, but they don't cover the same distance. You can use some maps to gain height to make reaching them easier. For most bosses, you'll find half charges and tap shots to be the most ink and time efficient way to deal with them. I usually only fully charge if I want range or very specific aim and damage. Steel eels, slamming lids, scrappers and drizzlers can be one-cycled with half charges, and big shots are relatively quick to get through as well, especially if you've got support from your teammates. Flipper floppers are really easy to manage because of the REEF-Lux painting ability, and given the fast fire rate, you'll also have no issues with taking down fish sticks and stingers. The REEF-Lux is not hindered by bosses that require splat bombs, such as moors, flyfish and mudmouse. It's important to remember that you may be the best person on your team to take care of these, especially flyfish, so make sure to keep an eye on them. The REEF-Lux is excellent against lessers, just as long as you recognise your weaknesses, such as lack of AoE, lack of piercing, and the requirement to be up close. Your fast fire rate, impressive DPS, and endless ink tank, however, makes it really efficient for clearing through them. For night waves, the REEF-Lux works well due to its ink tank and mobility. For rush, you're effective at filtering chum due to its fast fire rate. You just need to be careful as you'll be vulnerable because of your short range. For grillers, you can do all roles, but you may find yourself controlling small fry if your comp needs it. There isn't a right way to use the REEF-Lux here, it really depends on what your teammates are doing. For all other night waves, your mobility and ink efficiency allows you to throw bombs, run eggs and paint for your team. For king waves, you will likely find more value managing boss spawns as the strength of the weapon suits this role a bit more, especially against Ouroboros where you're almost rendered ineffective. Managing bosses for your teammates and subsequently providing golden eggs and keeping the map painted will help them a lot, just don't forget to damage the kings where you can. Weapon role. The role of the REEF-Lux is, in my opinion, indeterminate, which isn't a bad thing by the way, it's actually a very good thing. I find it to be one of the most user-friendly and adaptable weapons available in SalmonRun. Other weapons have more rigidity to their roles, but I find with the REEF-Lux I can change depending on the strengths and weaknesses of the other weapons in the comp. Its obvious role is that of support. Its paint support is practically unmatched and its ink tank feels endless. The ability to regenerate ink quickly, provide splat bombs on demand, and assist with damage leaves it in good standing for almost every single comp you could think of. I'll talk more about its ink efficiency in the next point, but it cannot be understated how effective the REEF-Lux is in that support role. But it is possible to be a lead slayer with this weapon. The incremental buffs it's received over the years have turned it into a surprising hard hitter that is self-sufficient and capable of leading teams. Like the other stringers, its partial charges and arcing of shots allows it to defeat enemies quickly and efficiently. But specifically exclusive to the REEF-Lux is its incredibly fast fire rate, which allows it to rack up impressive DPS. Combine this with its ability to be self-sufficient and what you have is a capable, confident slayer. Its ability to be everywhere quickly makes it a proficient static slayer, and its rapid fire means that bulkier enemies don't take that long to get through. The best way to play this weapon is aggressively, either by slaying so as to prevent you from being in a situation where your weapon may struggle, or by aggressively supporting your team with paint, bombs, and splash damage. Don't remain still or passive with this weapon, you'll end up becoming overwhelmed. Ink efficiency. The REEF-Lux is one of the fastest, most ink efficient weapons to be given in SalmonRun. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that its ink tank feels endless when you get used to it, and its lightweight status gives it the ability to relocate around maps with ease. SalmonRun is a team game, and I don't think that's news to anybody who's played it, but weapons like the REEF-Lux often get slept on due to their lack of in-game recognition for support. How great would it be if the game told you how much turf you covered, or how much damage you dealt with bombs? You can estimate these things. Generally, a lack of fly fish and a well-painted map are strong indicators of map control, but in my opinion, the game would become more in-depth and more team-focused if information like this was recorded and available to analyse. The REEF-Lux ink tank is why the weapon is self-sufficient and strong. Not only do you have the ink tank to withstand long fights and constant relocation, but you also have the damage that exceeds a lot of other weapons that you would compare to the REEF-Lux. Short-range, lightweight weapons with great ink tanks and high DPS are few and far between, simply because they are weapons with very few drawbacks. The game would be a bit too easy if all weapons felt like the REEF-Lux. A lot of weapons can slay easily, and a lot of weapons can turf a map easily, but how many weapons can effortlessly do both of these things? This is the main point I want to get across in this video. The REEF-Lux is deceptively strong. The obvious drawback is the range, which forces you to be up close to enemies. However, in my opinion, this is the only drawback this weapon could have. So instead of focusing on the things it can't do, push yourself forward with the things it excels at. I hope this video helps you appreciate the REEF-Lux 450 a little bit more. I'll catch you guys soon.